fucking hell. God damn it. Where's all my shit? Fuck.
More than 100 Marines have now arrived to reinforce security at the embassy, and we're learning hundreds more US troops will be deploying to the Middle East, effective immediately.
In a show of force, the U.S. military sent 2 Apache helicopters to fly over the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. Hundreds of angry demonstrators tried to storm the gates today. The crowd is protesting a series of U.S. airstrikes launched against an Iranian-backed militia. It has been a complicated year when it comes to the U.S. relationship with Iran. The pressure campaign from both sides has been escalating. And as Sinclair national correspondent Christine Frizzell reports, the latest action marks a change in U.S. policy toward Iran.
Tensions are rising. The relationship between the United States and Iran taking a sharp turn, following what Benham Ben Taleblu calls a long-standing policy of patience by the United States.
The Trump administration, despite its max pressure policy, was just absorbing this Iranian escalation until the loss of an American life.
That escalation over the last year includes Iran's shooting down of a U.S. surveillance drone in June, its seizure of a British tanker in July, and Iran's attack on a Saudi Arabian oil facility in September. But when an American contractor was killed at a military compound in Iraq on Friday in an attack that also wounded 4 U.S. soldiers, the Trump administration retaliated with 5 separate airstrikes in Iraq and Syria on Sunday, and a warning from the Pentagon.
We will take additional actions as necessary to ensure that we act in our own self-defense and we deter further bad behavior from militia groups or from Iran.
Iraq's prime minister has a different take.
This is as a result of the great Iranian-American tension, which we have tried to minimize and lessen. But unfortunately, the situation reached this level.
The question now is how the stalemate ends. Some believe crushing sanctions by the U.S. following the withdrawal from the Iranian nuclear deal put Iran on offense.
So in May 2019, Iran embraces a policy of graduated escalation. It says if there's an area of the Middle East that the U.S. cares about, I'm going to inflame it more so.
Some Middle East experts believe the only way this ends is if Washington and Tehran agree to return to the negotiating table. But some also believe top officials in Iran have already decided to try to wait out 2020 to see if they might have someone new to negotiate with. On Capitol Hill, I'm Christine Frizzell.
Developing now a show of U.S. military power in Baghdad tonight. Apache helicopters are flying over the U.S. embassy, and extra Marines have been called in after violent protests erupted today. Even with the violence outside, no one has been evacuated from the embassy. This was all in response to U.S. airstrikes in Iraq and Syria on Sunday. These strikes were in response to attacks from Iranian-backed militia group, which the U.S. blames for killing a contractor on Friday. The group said this protest was a stand against U.S. political dominance.
This whole back and forth is fueling Iraqi politicians who have been pushing for a long time to reduce or eliminate the U.S. presence in Iraq.
By the end of the day, rocks, tear gas, and fires were replaced by tents. The protesters are now staging a sit-in outside the embassy. They want the embassy closed and are calling for all Americans to leave Iraq.
We begin with the breaking developments overseas. The American embassy in Baghdad under siege, the situation escalating. Hundreds of protesters storming the gates, retaliation for U.S. airstrikes targeting an Iranian-backed militia group in Iraq. The mob setting fires, scaling the walls, breaking through the outer barricades. Protesters smashing doors and windows. U.S. military choppers overhead firing flares to protect Americans on the ground. The embassy now on lockdown. About 100 Marines sent in for support, and we're just learning hundreds more troops could be on the way. President Trump warning Iran will, quote, pay a very big price. ABC's James Longman leading us off.
Chanting death to America, an unprecedented assault. Hundreds of Shiite militia and their supporters today laying siege to the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. It's supposed to be one of the most secure in the world, and yet crowds tried to storm the compound, setting fire to guard posts and embassy walls, prying an embassy plaque off the entrance and trying to break through windows, just a pane of glass separating guards from protesters. American troops taking up position on the roof of the embassy, firing tear gas at times as hundreds of U.S. personnel hunkered down inside. In the fog of tear gas, the flags of Kataib Hezbollah flying outside embassy walls. It was that Iranian-backed militia targeted in U.S. airstrikes over the weekend after they killed an American contractor. Their supporters had come from the funerals of their fighters to attack the embassy. President Trump today laying the blame directly on Iran, tweeting, Iran will be held fully responsible for lives lost, adding they will pay a very big price. This is not a warning, it's a threat. Happy New Year. He called the Iraqi Prime Minister, demanding he protect the U.S. embassy. But Iran's grip over Baghdad's government is tight. One sign of that today, before the attack, Iraqi security services had allowed militia members to flood this diplomatic area, normally off limits. By nightfall, a show of force. 2 American Apache helicopters firing flares over the embassy in a warning to protesters. More than 100 Marines have now arrived to reinforce security at the embassy, and we're learning hundreds more U.S. troops will be deploying to the Middle East, effective immediately.
So let's get right to James Longman. And James, right now there are still no plans to evacuate the embassy?
No, that's right, Whit. Tonight, the situation outside the embassy has calmed, but those militia groups have repeated their vow to retaliate against the U.S., demanding its withdrawal. Tensions with Iran still at an all-time high. Whit.
All right, James Longman, our thanks to you tonight.
Hi, everybody. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks so much for tuning in. Happy New Year, right? Okay. Today I have a lovely orange cream soda that has 10 milligrams of THC in it to celebrate with you all, because I know that you all like to celebrate with tasty cold beverages on New Year's. And there was a little bit of stuff in the bottom, so that's why I shook it up. Hopefully it's not going to blow up all over the place, all over Craig's beautiful microphone. That would suck. So I'll probably open it down here. But I have that to share with you. I have the clips of the embassy bombing. It's not a bombing. And I have this cool like background that I found. I was like, oh, let's see. I was gonna wear this blue T-shirt, and then I was like, no, you have to wear the green screen T-shirt. So it's being like you're taking over. The machine. I'm now part of the machine. but I love the background, so I thought I'd have to play the background for you. Let's see. And we got a beverage. We got clips. I have a video clip of an animal using a tool. And the people on the news, in the news clip, are very surprised by an animal using a tool. It's so odd. Let's see. What else do we have for today? News clips. Let's see. I got the fucking tiger clip still, because I really like the fucking tiger clip. Let's see. Oh, I have a man fighting to get his coyote back because it's actually like a service animal for him. And just in case Dwayne is going to show up, like if Dwayne has tomorrow off, I got a vaccines clip. So, you know. And we're joined by our alien brothers and sisters in this particular episode. So that, you know that we have our friends. Our friends are looking in. And I don't know who the background is by, but boy, I sure like this one. Okay. So, again, my name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. This is our New Year's Eve live call-in show. This is actually episode 100 of our live shows for 2019. 100. Can you believe we did 100 shows in 2019? Time just flies. I think, when you work hard, though, things start to add up pretty fast. So we did 100 episodes. This is our 100th episode. And I'm so glad that our alien friends could join us. And the rest of you. It's very nice of you to tune in. Thank you so much. It'd just be meaningless without you. It'd just be a lonely guy on New Year's Eve, right? Oh, look, we have a phone call? We do. We have a phone call. Let's see. I wonder who the caller is. Hello, caller.
So you must have done 55 or so shows before I ever discovered it.
I don't know. Craig, I'm relying on Craig's numbers. I don't keep track of stuff like this.
Well, if it's correct, that's pretty cool that it's 100 shows on New Year's Eve. That's a pretty kismet type number thing.
Well, it would have been last week, except for we took off Christmas Eve and Christmas. So.
Well, I'm glad you did, because it's really cool that it ends up being 100 shows on the last day of the year,
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, too. And I have a lovely THC beverage to enjoy with you. Because
you are fucking floating on DMT, my friend. There's a fucking space alien behind you, and you've got...
That's what the name of this background is, DMT, live DMT or something like that.
I know. I don't even need to try it. I just need to watch you on YouTube, and I'm like a fucking wizard already, man.
It's inside of me. It's inside of all of us.
It's like God's vagina. God's vagina on alien orange juice.
The cream soda is very tasty, in case anyone's wondering. Orange cream soda.
It makes you wonder what turns a regular soda into a cream soda.
I think it's usually cream.
You think they actually put cream in a soda?
Well, that's what Italian sodas are. They put cream in them, right?
I don't know, man.
Haven't you ever had an Italian soda? Of course, they put heavy cream in, like a heavy whipping cream in it, and then you like stir it into the soda. You ever had an Italian soda before?
No, I've had eggnog before.
No, fuck eggnog.
No, man, I've never been to Italy. I got like 5 million relatives in Italy, but I blocked them all on Facebook because I'm mean and evil. No, it's like I don't speak Italian, so what? And you guys don't ever fucking talk to me, so fuck you.
I think that's a universal language. Fuck you.
Yeah, I think so. Angola! Angola!
See, you do too speak Italian.
Yeah. Mangia magiocola. That means eat my pussy.
How are you doing? Happy New Year. Nice to hear from you.
Happy New Year to you. I'm sitting here with my coffee. I got a roach. I'm wondering, should I smoke my roach or should I roll a new joint? That'll probably occupy my next 10 minutes. That's how busy my mind is.
Ooh, smoke marijuana. That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah. So that's pretty, what happens? The Hezbollah forces in Iraq are a completely different force from the Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Huh. I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, I think Hezbollah is an Arabic word that probably means militia or something like that.
Okay.
So, now the American narrative, which is only partially true, is that Iran supports Hezbollah in Lebanon. And that's partially true. But the Hezbollah in Lebanon is like Hamas in Gaza. They're just a paramilitary force set up by the local government to protect the population from Israeli incursions. And Hezbollah I don't know if it's true. I'm not a military expert, but some people say Hezbollah can kick the shit out of Israel if they ever go back into Lebanon in a forceful way. And Israel, of course, is very much, that's the Hezbollah.
Israel, I mean, as much as they like to pretend that they want to fuck with Lebanon, they're not going to fuck with Lebanon. I mean, if they fuck with Lebanon, Lebanon will fucking sink Israel. And if they fuck with Iran, it's 10 times worse. So,
Well, apparently, one of the reasons Israel is very much afraid of Iran is because Iran does supply some weapons to local governments. Maybe they somehow, some way, get a little bit of gunpowder or something into Gaza, which is very difficult to do. There's no great underground reptilian tunnels going from Iran to Gaza. It's almost impossible to get anything in or out of Gaza, but definitely they do give support to Lebanon. Jordan is pretty much self-sustaining. Iran does give, that means they don't need any help from Iran. And Jordan is the king of Jordan is supposed to have complete control over Al-Sharam Al-Sharif, which is Temple Mount. It's what the Jews call Temple Mount, and what the Palestinians call Al-Aqsa. The king of Jordan, by decree of the United Nations, is supposed to have complete control over what we call the Temple Mount. But he's a big pussy. He doesn't do anything. He's kind of like the UN. He said, well, I object to this or that. He doesn't really do anything. Israel still controls a very small portion of Lebanon. Jordan is across the Jordan River. It used to be called Transjordan. That means both sides of the river. But now Jordan is on the other side of the Jordan River. And Iran apparently took advantage. Remember last week we were talking about power vacuums? Well, Iran did take advantage of the power vacuum in Iraq, and the Hezbollah in Iraq is not connected to the Hezbollah in Lebanon. And apparently they really didn't like, they killed one soldier, right? One American soldier.
No, they killed a U.S. contractor, which is the equivalent of a mercenary. It is a mercenary. A mercenary is not a soldier. A mercenary is a fucking... is a killer, is a paid killer. That's what a mercenary is.
Do you happen to have any details on the circumstance of that death?
It's some kind of rocket attack. I don't know. It's impossible to know because there's no real fucking information that comes out about this shit.
Do you know the location?
It's not, come through the Pentagon. It was, it said Kirkuk.
So it was not at the American embassy.
Today?
No,
there's a
the
protest.
original incident.
No, that was in Kirkuk. Yeah, I posted a video last night. About who it was titled "Who is Trump Really Bombing?" and the general that they were talking to was saying that the people that he's bombing are actually killing ISIS and protecting Christians in that area. That's who Trump is bombing.
Right, yeah. So somehow something happened. An American contractor was killed.
Yeah.
And we've killed already at least 20 Iraqis, and now they're up in arms attacking the embassy. That's a pretty good summation, wouldn't you agree?
I think there's probably a whole lot more going on, but that's kind of like the gist of what we're hearing. Yeah.
Right. That's kind
and now hundreds more troops are being deployed to the Middle East.
And yeah, so I think I'm wondering what the generals told Trump and who authorized the bombing that killed 20 Iraqi citizens. I'm wondering who authorized that. Was it a general? Was it Trump? What was it? I guess we don't know yet, right? We probably won't know for another year.
Well, we're being told, I mean, look, Trump is the commander-in-chief, okay? So if we're going to attack another country and he's not involved in making that decision, then he's pretty fucking shitty commander-in-chief. Either way, it's on him, and he needs to fucking own up to it. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, changing the subject a little bit, I agree with you, but the only commander-in-chief that I know of that tried to micromanage military operations was JFK, and he was very specific and particular about micromanaging the invasion of Cuba, which was called the Bay of Pigs, which Allen Dulles fucked up, and then JFK pulled out and a bunch of people died. And I know the details of that. I don't want to bore everybody with the details of it, but that was the last time I really know where commander-in-chief was micromanaging anything and having control. Usually they just say, okay, you attack those guys and then tell me how it goes. They don't micromanage anything.
Well, according to Obama, he signed off on every single drone strike. I sign off on every single drone strike. So
those are drone strikes.
Yeah.
Which are authorized by presidential briefing. The military briefs the president.
Yeah.
That's it. That's his idea of signing off on it. So if he says, well, we've got a group of 20 terrorists there, and Obama signs his fucking signature, and then you find out it's a wedding. It's a fucking wedding.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm good at killing people, Obama even threatened to drone strike Led Zeppelin. Did you know that?
Nuh-uh.
No, it's right on TV, man. It was at the, I forget what they call it, those awards in Washington where they celebrate,
Kennedy Awards or whatever.
Yeah, the Kennedy Awards.
Yeah.
If you listen to Obama's speech at the Kennedy Awards, he kind of jokingly threatened Led Zeppelin. He says, I got one word for you. Predator drones. I thought that was pretty funny. But
he was talking about it wasn't Led Zeppelin, it was the fucking like the Hanson twins or something.
No, it was Led Zeppelin, dude. I know
right,
for sure.
He was talking about his daughters having a crush on somebody, and it was like, if you get if you're thinking anything about my daughters, I remember that.
Oh, was it the same night? Led Zeppelin?
I don't know anything about Led Zeppelin, but I remember he was talking to some fucking pop. He was talking to, I'm pretty sure he was talking to some pop band that was
about his daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, but you've never seen the Led Zeppelin Kennedy Honors Award that went on?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, you should check it out. They had a really good version of Stairway to Heaven, and they had it. They had a lot of good gigs. All the arrangements were a little bit cut short, so 8-minute Stairway to Heaven ends up being 6 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. But it was pretty cool, they really were honored. But Obama is definitely a psychopath, and it really bothers. You know how Trump makes funny faces sometimes, and he puts his hand up and says, "We have the best," or I'm a really stable genius, or he has all these things that all the media make fun of. Obama was more clever, more complex than that, but he could hold his head up and talk about somebody sticking their nose in the air. Obama did that quite frequently, and so now back to Iraq. I don't know what's going on there. I hope it doesn't escalate, but maybe somebody ought to apologize to somebody for killing 20 soldiers. That's my opinion on it, you know.
I think that it's got to stop, man. This is they play it like a fucking video game. You know, we're talking about people's lives. We're talking about all of our lives. Okay, this is what you do when you go and you bomb a bunch of people. Is you put all of our lives at risk because all of those people have people. Okay.
Well, like you were saying the other day, we just don't value brown lives like we do white lives. It's like, oh, so what? We killed a couple brown farmers. They were brown, man. You know, we don't come out and say, well, they just don't have the same value as us Americans. We don't even value our own brown Americans as much. I mean, there still is some kind of white colonial mindset. And we say, oh, yeah, now we have civil rights, and now anybody can be a senator. You know, we can have black people, we could have Arabic people, we can have Muslim senators. You know, we're a country of laws. No, you're not a country of laws. You know, it's still, if you're not valuing the human lives of brown and yellow people all over the world, you're a bigot. You're a fucking bigot. And that's my opinion, man. It's like I look past a person's skin, and I realize everyone has equal human value, even if we're not actually equal in intellect or physicality or physical strength or love. We're not equal in those ways. Nonetheless, we have equal human value. It's not okay. You know, it's like saying, well, it's okay to kill Chihuahuas, but Great Danes, we can't kill Great Danes. They're much better than Chihuahuas. I mean, if you apply that standard to human beings, you're a bigot. You're a bigot, you know?
I hear you. Well, if it was Chihuahuas versus Great Danes, you'd be a racist. But yeah.
Yeah, bigot, racist, you know.
But I hear. I think people do that. I think people are think very badly about pit bulls. I think that part of the reason that it's not a big deal is because the people are brown. You know, that we bomb Iraq. I think that if we bomb somewhere where it was all white people, that there would be a lot more shock. You know. People would be like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this happening now? You bomb a bunch of brown people, no one fucking cares.
Well, the entire history of the world is one race thinking they're superior to another race, and then they go in and they enslave or kill that race. And it happened in China. You know, Japan invaded China. It happened in different regions of China. But mostly in our Western Atlantic civilizations, it's Europeans coming. You know, the Spanish went to South America. All the people from Europe came to North America, and we killed the red man. We enslaved the black man. And the whole mess in the Middle East is truly started from a colonial military mindset where France went in North Africa, England went in North Africa, and once World War II was over, the United States helped the Jewish people and supported the Jewish people in taking over the historic land of Palestine, and it's all colonialism. And apparently we don't mind unless it happens on our own shores, because brown people have a lesser value. This is how the Balfour Declaration came about. That was an English, the English fucked one of the sheikhs into believing that he was going to get a square deal from England. The Sykes-Picot thing was a Frenchman and a Englishman that divided up the Middle East in about 1910, I think. And the whole thing could have been solved if the European Jews just didn't go and take over the land of Palestine, and the Arab nations would have settled.
Listen, if the fucking George W. Bush just hadn't fucking bullshitted all this crap about fucking Iraq, okay, we'd be in a completely different world right now. All right, I mean, and I think that partially the reason that he did all this is to distract us from Israel. So I think that's, I mean, you keep wanting to, everybody wants to make it Israel, but it's just 9/11, okay? Our issue really is 9/11. And the fact that it's never been investigated properly, and a whole pack of lies has been based and cooked up to make us go into a never-ending war based on lies for profit. Just as they laid out in their fucking in their whole thesis about the Project for a New American Century. This is what these people wanted, and
I completely agree with you,
and they
Michael.
never want it to end.
But I agree with you. But it's also important to realize that PNAC, the Project for the New American Century, which was the pre-written excuse for the wars of conquest that happened because of the false flag, 9/11 false flag. That's just a step up in strategy from a already previously existing Middle East strategy, which is only part of a global strategy. And a lot of that has to do with oil. So even before, things have really stepped up since 9/11. You're completely correct. But that's just an evolution of strategy that was already existing. And they have to put these things on us.
Well, attacking our shores is a pretty big evolution.
Yeah, well, they did the same thing in World War II.
Yeah, but it was laid out differently in World War II. It wasn't the same thing. It was a standing army attacking our standing army. Civilians were attacked on 9/11.
Yeah, well, it was a big step up in strategy that because they wanted to speed up the process.
Yeah,
and it completely worked. And I don't mean to spend so much time and energy focusing on Palestine, but that Palestine issue was big and important before 9/11 ever happened. But I am in agreement with you that 9/11 is the big American issue. It's actually the big global issue because you can't get on a plane. Nobody attacked France, but you can't get on a plane in France without,
taking off your shoes.
Yeah, bending over and showing all your papers and,
taking off your shoes.
Checking your Facebook page, make sure you're not a terrorist, And so it affected the entire planet because America kind of rules the entire planet in one way or another.
Well, yeah, that's why marijuana is illegal, not because the planet didn't want marijuana illegal. It's illegal because the United States didn't want it illegal or wants it illegal.
Yeah. So you can't underestimate the American influence on the entire planet, even though there is a big pushback. I mean, South America is under complete attack by the United States right now. At least 5 countries in South America have more or less been taken over by American empire strategy. This, what do they call it? Manifest destiny. We have the right to do this or that, especially within our own hemisphere. That's a pretty good description of manifest destiny, which has been going on for 150 years now. So it's like we can take over any country we want. And the only difference is that we're doing it by proxy now. We pay off the Lima Group. We pay off the Organization of the American States, and we pay off politicians in these South American countries to form coups and execute coups in those countries, and so now there's a lot of big heap of trouble down there with all those brown people, most of whom are indigenous, a lot of whom are indigenous, and it's our fault. It's like this empire, this American empire, doesn't show any chance of quickly stopping its satanic policies worldwide. But I feel pretty good. I think 2020 is going to be a hell of a year. And I'm hoping everybody survives. I hope I survive, but I'm kind of hopeful. But I don't think nothing changes on New Year's Day. Tomorrow's just going to be another fucking day, and all of these policies are going to continue. And it's up to us. It's really up to us to wake up. And I am on the side of people who are being fucked up, murdered, subjugated, put under pressure worldwide, including the indigenous people worldwide. And, a lot of the press is saying 2019 was a year of protests, and then they list all the protests in 10 different countries. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in this next year coming up. I think so. Just because it's the end of a decade doesn't mean that the policies of the last century are going to slowly grind to a halt. I mean, not unless we put ourselves in the way of the American machine will anything change. I think we have to do that.
I think so too. I think, look, that's what I'm talking about. We have to take back this government, okay? Whoever it is that took over the government, whoever it is that took over the government, we have to take it back because it doesn't represent the people any longer. And if it's not going to represent the people, then it's no fucking value to any of us.
Yeah, well, thank God we have guns. Thank God that we have at least part of the internet.
I am not going to thank God for guns. I will thank God for cannabis. I will thank God for pussy, but I am not going to thank God for guns. Okay?
Okay. Thank God for pussy.
That's right.
Thank Jesus. Thank Jesus. Thanks the Anunnaki for all the guns, and the gold.
Some fucking piece of garbage, wants to kill people. I'm not going to thank God because some fucking, dickhole creates a fucking lead pellet shooter.
I think the Chinese invented gunpowder. I think Marco Polo brought gunpowder back from China and blew everybody away in Europe,
Yeah, there's a movie called The Great Wall. I think it has Matt Damon in it.
Right, I've seen that, yeah.
Do you see it with the dragons and stuff?
Yeah, the monsters, yeah.
Yeah, and those guys were all about trying to get their hands on gunpowder.
Right, yeah. So, it's good to learn history from fantasy movies, Hollywood fantasy movies. That's a documentary, by the way. That's a true movie.
I didn't think it was all that good.
Oh my God, there's 3 aliens right behind you, Mike. Watch out, watch out. So,
they're my brothers.
Yeah, man. I think it's going to be a tricky year. I really want everyone to both remain hopeful and believe in themselves and learn the magic word no. If a cop is trying to fuck you around, you say no. If one of your neighbors is trying to fuck you around, you say no. You stand up for yourself. And things don't change unless you stand up to them. And that's kind of the origin of these protests in Iraq right now, is that they didn't like that recent bombing that we pulled off. I think that was a bonehead maneuver. There was no reason to bomb just because a contractor got killed. I would like to learn the details of that. And so I'm all for people standing up for what is right. I don't know the details of that particular situation, but every time you see people in the street that are pissed off, they're either mind controlled or there's actually something wrong going on that they're fighting against. So, yeah, I think we fucked up, and we'll see what happens. You know, I don't know, but 2020 will be an okay year. Just try to hang on to your brothers. Try to help people if you can, and don't get down in the dumps too much. Here, I'm giving myself advice. Everybody else is probably more positive than I am, but it's
just stay cool, smoke weed, stay cool. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. We always do, right? That's what I say. We always, we always do. Okay, I mean, it's like, this is the thing. Is people worry, oh man, how am I gonna deal with this? How am I gonna? You always deal with it. We always fucking get through this shit. Whatever it is, the worst fucking shit, we get through it. So we will get through it. Just stay cool. Fucking eat cannabis, relax, listen to music, and know that we'll get through it. And you know, watch Mox News, and we'll all get there. Don't worry.
I put some of that oil on my feet.
You did, really?
Yeah. It was like 3 days ago. I still haven't taken a shower. So,
how does it? What do you experience?
Extremely subtle. What do they call it? Extremely. I didn't take any aspirin for 2 days, so there was some pain relief there.
Cool.
Just by putting the oil on my feet. And
you know, it works best if you smoke a lot of marijuana with it.
Possibly, yeah. But it seemed to work, and it took about 5 hours for me to really feel the effects. So I think it works on your parasympathetic nervous system. That's why it's so subtle, because everything that soaks in your parasympathetic nervous system is very subtle type energy. It's not like eating it, you know, where you just get all stoned and, like that. Yeah, just like that, Mike. So, oh my God, it's starting again. It's right behind you, Mike. Watch out. Don't turn around. But, I mean, it was pretty good. I think I'll try it again. And it worked. It has some kind of effect. My feet started mumbling and stuff like that. Like I had happy feet.
Well, it's good. It's good that you get some pain relief. That's why I eat cannabis. That's a big part of why I eat cannabis. Okay, because I have pain, and I want to be able to get up and go do things, and not have the pain be the main focus of the day. You know.
Right. Yeah.
And cannabis reprioritizes all that shit. So that's again, I thank God for cannabis. No problem.
Well, I got to fix my oven so I can make some brownies or something like that. You know.
You don't have an oven?
No, I have the not the capacitor. The little heat sensor went out on the oven. The range top works, but the oven is on the blink right now. It's a $20 part, but if I call somebody to replace it, it'll be like $250.
Ridiculous.
And I'm just wondering, man, can I just like hot wire the motherfucker or something? You know,
you don't know how to do it, or?
I seen the guy do it once, and it was fucking like a 2-minute
I guarantee you, there's a video on YouTube of exactly how to do it.
Yeah, I'll bet. I should watch that video.
I guarantee there's probably one for your specific oven.
It's just a thermocouple. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, it's just like this little plastic part that shuts the gas off at a certain temperature or turns it on, whatever. And I'm not paying another $250 to have some guy come and do it. I'll fucking do it myself, but I'm pretty lazy right now.
Stop rubbing all that fucking dope on your feet.
Yeah, if I stop rubbing dope on my feet, maybe I'll get something done. Well, Happy New Year, Mike. I'll let somebody else call.
Okay, thanks for calling. I think Steve McClanahan is trying to call in from what I heard.
Michael!
Yeah!
Michael!
Yeah!
This is Steve McClanahan! All right, talk to you later.
Okay, bye. Thanks for calling. Happy New Year. Okay, he hung up. Okay, so let's see. This background is very distracting. Actually, I think that this soda is kicking in. I don't know. I would be incredibly impressed, if this actually worked, since these things don't ever work for me, right? I mean, I eat brownies. I eat a brownie in the morning with my breakfast. Actually, I eat a brownie and then I take the dogs for a walk, and then I eat another brownie and eat my breakfast. So this kind of stuff, 10 milligrams doesn't usually work for me, but I think this might actually be working. I'm feeling a little extra something there. I don't know. Only had one puff. Okay, so, and I'm not sure how you say the name of that. Wait, how do you pronounce the name of that? You say like, let me see. It's pronounced, ooh la la. I think it's ooh la la. Ooh la la, orange cream. It was delicious. I have like one little sip left, and I want more. So I think this is a very nice way to go for parties. I think people who are considering or possibly looking for an alternative to alcohol, because alcohol is such a dangerous drug. I think this is a very nice alternative. This was actually delicious. I could drink another one or two of these easily. I really enjoyed that. Nom, nom, nom. Who would you rather what? Who would you rather? It's possible. Placebo effect is very strong. Can be very strong at times. But the thing is, just a sec. The thing is that I have candies. I eat the candies. I don't get anything. And I have candies from different manufacturers. But I eat my brownies and I get something. I don't know. Possibly. You could be right. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mox, how you doing? It's Chris from Olympia. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Chris. I am doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fairly well today. It was one of those blistery, stormy days in the Pacific Northwest to take out the year.
It is a blustery day outside. That is for sure.
Yeah, like 20 mile an hour winds and pretty much rain all day, constant rain. So one of those days to sit inside with a cup of tea and just kind of think about things. Don't go outside.
We went outside and took a nice walk. We have this wooded area where we go. We don't, as long as it's not dumping rain, we don't really experience it in the woods. So we went over there and wandered around for an hour. That was nice.
Yeah, I did watch a really good documentary last night. That was entertaining, and I watched a good film this afternoon too. I watched that 1979 movie called Stalker.
I'm not sure which one that is.
It's a Russian science fiction movie about a guide. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's very visual, and it's science fiction. It was worth my time. And then I watched a documentary on Operation. It wasn't a documentary. It was a lecture, is what it was, from the bookstore Politics and Prose in Washington, D.C. And they have lectures of people who...
Those guys do good work.
Yeah, and the lecture was about Operation Paperclip. And the writer, it was from 2014, and the writer was Annie Jacobson. And it's about a 50-minute to an hour presentation going over her book, discussing all of the scientists who were taken out of Nazi Germany and placed into positions of power in the U.S. Air Force, in the U.S. Army, in the Central Intelligence Agency, and in big manufacturing, the military-industrial complex. These people were placed in positions, and the movie the documentary, the lecture, also talked about how the Americans and the Russians treated the Nazis differently, and the Nazi scientists in the United States were treated very well by the government and by other people in the United States who were working with them, and they were also promoted into positions of power in the United States. So like the guy who was in charge of the very first space center in Houston was a Nazi scientist, for example. The person who developed the Saturn rockets in the 1960s, Werner von Braun, he was a Nazi scientist. And it's an interesting subject because a lot of times, again, in the popular rhetoric, it's that Israel, the Jewish people are the root of all the evil in the United States just in the last 50 years. And I just would like to point out that our country literally brought over 1,500 Nazis to the United States in the 1950s and integrated them into our society. So there is some legitimate anti-Semitism that was brought here from Europe after the war.
Well, I know that they brought Nazi specialists here. Spy scientists, especially, were highly sought after, and from what I understand, given pretty good positions in the U.S. government and other places, like you said. That's what I understand too.
So it's actually true, and this is a big fat 600-page book, and the writer of that book talking about it, nonfiction, and the title of the video on YouTube is Annie Jacobson, Operation Paperclip. And I think other viewers might appreciate that. There was another article that I found this morning that I thought is relative to what's going on in Iran, in Iraq. And this article is from Global Research, the Canadian website that I've mentioned before. And it's by James Lucas, who's a professor. And the title of the article is called "The United States Has Killed More Than 20 Million People in 37 victim nations since World War II." And it was published on the 27th of November in 2015. And what does that mean? It means that we've started wars in countries that would not have happened if we had not instigated the war and supplied the weapons. It also means that we've actively engaged in conflict that's resulted in the loss of 20 million deaths in the last 75 years.
Yeah.
And the writer goes through every one of the countries one by one, and I can list them briefly. Afghanistan, Angola, Bolivia, Brazil, Cambodia, Chad, Chile, Colombia, it goes on, Cuba, the Congo, formerly Zaire, the Dominican Republic, East Timor in Indonesia, El Salvador, Grenada, Guatemala, Haiti, Honduras, Hungary, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, and the U.S.-Iraq war sanctions against Iraq from 1990 to 2003, and then Israel-Palestinian war, which we support Israel, Laos, Nepal, Nicaragua, Pakistan, Panama, the Philippines, the Sudan, Vietnam, again, Yugoslavia. So there's 37 different countries that we've directly interfered in that has created the death of over 20 million people. So again, this idea of pointing fingers at people who look different than us, and I am talking about the Ashkenazi Jews who emigrated from Europe to Palestine, and suggesting that they're responsible for all the evil in the world. I'm not saying that Palestinians aren't abused, and like I said, I support institutions like the Rachel Corrie Foundation, and I support Palestinian rights. But let's be fucking honest about this. It's the United States that's responsible for killing people around the world. Nobody convinced us to do it either. We did it for our own profit. And a lot of Americans don't want to face up to that, Mike. They want to look for some reason why we're being manipulated, right? We're not.
Look, this is clear that it's just, to me, it's just about making rich people more rich, okay? And if the profit was taken out of making war, that wars would end. That's very clear to me, okay? So I blame the rich. The rich people own the politicians. The rich people basically get the politicians that they own to make the rules and the world the way they want it. Okay? And the rich people are the ones profiteering off these wars. Okay? So I blame the rich. I mean, the real factor is that, you have to, we have to jail the war profiteers, the serious war profiteers. They must go to prison in order to make an example of them, so that we can say this is not acceptable behavior for human beings in the 21st century. We do not allow human beings to profit off of war.
It's a great principle, and I think that whole idea of war trials, like I mentioned, Operation Paperclip, a few of those scientists had actually been convicted of war crimes in the Nuremberg trials and were brought to the United States. But the only reason why the Nuremberg trials, which held people, one of the only times that people, a major power, have ever been held accountable for war crimes to that degree, is because Nazi Germany lost the war. They were occupied by 4 different countries, and Germany was divided in 2 for like 30 years, or more. So that being the case, that's the only way I see our leaders ever being held accountable, is if we have a change of government, like a serious, either a revolution or an occupation from another country which has been victimized by the United States. Because, and it's interesting because the U.S. acted as the prosecutor and judge at Nuremberg. That was very weird, right? As the military occupier. But the real victims, right, of Nazi Germany were the 20 million Russians who were killed, not the 400,000 American soldiers who went to take over the world. The 20 million Russians who died as a victim of Nazi war crimes, which General Patton wanted to continue to go to war with immediately after the war.
The Russians.
That's right.
Yeah.
As we were grabbing Nazi scientists, at the same time we were grabbing the Nazi scientists, we were threatening Russia with war.
Right. So what we're looking at, so what he's saying is, even though we had accomplished our goal and we had ended the war with a victory, the generals still wanted more war. This is the problem. There's never, no matter, they don't want peace. What they want is never-ending war.
They wanted to conquer the world, Mike.
Yeah, they
wanted to do. They wanted.
Afghanistan is very clear that they don't want to conquer anybody. They just want to fucking have never-ending war that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, if they wanted to, because Afghanistan, they act like we can't even win fucking Afghanistan. People in mud huts and caves,
Mm-hmm.
So there's
the British couldn't do it 150 years ago either.
Yeah.
So we're not the first ones to fail in Afghanistan. The Russians couldn't do it. The British couldn't do it because there's no reason to try and occupy another nation that doesn't want to be occupied, especially if they have 100 years of experience fighting against oppressors. They're pretty good at it.
Yeah, they just want to fucking fight. I mean, that's all they want is a fight, dude. They just want to keep fighting. I mean, pretty clear. That's why we have to take the profit out of it. We take the profit out of it, they won't want to keep doing it because there won't be anything in it for anyone.
So the reason I mentioned that, I have mentioned that before about where I think that moment started after World War II, where it no longer was a republic, but it was an empire. But by republic, I mean a representative government where the people make the decision to go to war. We went to war in 1941 after Pearl Harbor, or in January of 1942. But, we didn't, that's the last time we declared war. That's the last time a U.S. representative in Congress voted to go to war. All of these other wars have been by fiat. The president makes the decision. President goes to war. Maybe some kind of resolution in Congress with some kind of ambiguous support, but not a clear declaration of war. That hasn't happened in over almost 80 years.
Yeah, this is. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon either. I think that
it doesn't have to.
Yeah,
we don't have to have our representatives sign off anymore because it's not a republic anymore.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Right. So the other thing that's a misperception in the American public is that we've been in 3 wars since 1990 or something. There's Gulf War, there's Iraq War, there's Afghan War. Right? Afghan War, I think, is different. But actually the war in Iraq has really just been one continuous conflict since the Persian Gulf War in 1990. And that war was the beginning of, you could call it, the oil war. All right? It includes Libya, it includes Syria, it includes Yemen, it includes Iraq, it includes the entire region. But the conflict was started with the Kuwaiti, when we went into Iraq in 1990, and it just hasn't stopped since then. And over, like I said, 500,000 to 1 million Iraqis died because of U.S. sanctions.
Before the war ever started.
Before 2001, before 9/11.
Yeah.
Before the towers came down, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had already killed 1 million fucking people.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even from the war.
Right.
That wasn't even from George Bush the first dropping bombs. That was just from denying people medicine. Clinton. Yeah. So that's all part of the same war.
Yeah, I agree.
They reignited the war in 2003 and went and killed the guy or whatever, went and got Saddam. But after that, we stayed there. We're still there today. As far as the newspaper says, we've got like 5,000 troops in Iraq today.
And more on the way.
Our occupation force.
And more on the way. And they want us, and they're camping out in front of the embassy right now, demanding that all Americans leave Iraq because we're so wonderful.
Yeah, I watched another documentary. It was from Deutsche Welle, the German news service. I watched about 20 minutes of today, and it was about the year 1979 when the first Iranian uprising occurred. And the Iranians have a history of being able to, they know how to express themselves, and they actually did succeed in overthrowing their government. So it ain't going to be no cakewalk trying to disable this government and install some puppet regime, and it isn't going to. So all of these events are interrelated to one big war, as I see it. And it goes all the way across North Africa and all the way into the Middle East to the edge of Afghanistan. And to say that these are really just like different theaters in the same war. So like in World War II, people used to put pins right on their wall on big maps.
Yeah.
As people back home would watch their children in Europe. They know their son was in Germany, so they'd follow the battles and put pins on their walls so they knew where their kids were going to die tomorrow or something like that. Well, in the terms of the larger perspective, this is just 4 or 5 or 6 different theaters of the same war. And it isn't like it just happens in a year. And that war is over. It goes on forever as we try to dominate the entire planet. About Saudi Arabia, something I discovered. So Saudi Arabia, there was that Aramco selling, right? Remember that? Aramco was put on the stock market for sale. Recall that?
Initially,
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the largest company in the world. that's a publicly traded company, and it became that way in about a week. And they initially, the Saudis thought they were going to get about $100 billion, I think it was, by offering the stock, but they only got $26 billion out of the trade, right? And they only sold, I think, 10% of the company. The rest is still owned by Saudis. However, this is what was interesting to me, and it explains how Americans run the world. This little thing right here, right? This is from Bloomberg News. Bloomberg, the guy running for president, his newspaper. This is what they say, and it's from let me see here. It's from December 5th or something of this year, and it says. The deal for Aramco opens up one of the world's most secretive companies whose profits help bankroll the kingdom and its ruling family for decades. To investors and Saudi individuals, until this year, Aramco had never published financial statements or borrowed in international debt markets. It will mean the company now has shareholders other than the Saudi government for the first time since it was nationalized in the late 1970s. Saudi Arabia had been pulling out all the stops to ensure the IPO is a success. It cut the tax rate for Aramco 3 times, promised the world's largest dividend, and offered bonus shares for retail investors who kept hold of the stock. This is the important part. Goldman Sachs Group, Inc., acting as share stabilizing manager, has the right to exercise a so-called green shoe option of 450 million shares of Aramco. The purchase option can be executed in whole or at part on any time within 30 calendar days after the trading debut. It could raise the IPO proceeds to $30 billion. So, what happened? Saudi Arabia, when it became a kingdom, or whatever, in the last 50 years, has nationalized oil. So the proceeds from all of the sale of the oil in Saudi Arabia is supposed to go to benefit the people of Saudi Arabia. But Saudi Arabia is ruled by these crazy kings who run the kingdom. It's called a kingdom even, not even called a democracy by the Central Intelligence Agency. Even they call it a kingdom. Now, these sheikhs are going to sell the oil to Wall Street investment companies, right, and take all the money and spend the money for themselves, and then the oil of Saudi Arabia is going to be owned by wealthy investors in New York and in other places around the world. Now that's how we operate around the world, like we do in Saudi. That's a good example of why we support people around the world for profit.
I said this again and again. This is the problem with capitalism: is the natural resources are scooped right off the top to the top 1%.
Huh? Meanwhile, in Iran, they wanted to nationalize their oil in 1953, but their government was overthrown by a CIA coup sponsored by the Dulles brothers, Allen Dulles, and by Dwight D. Eisenhower's administration. We overthrew their democratically elected government that wanted to nationalize their oil. So they had to wait another 26 years until 1979 until they had the chance to nationalize their oil. And now the rich bastards in London and New York, they can't make money off of the Iranians' oil, unlike the Saudis. But do we support the Iranians who actually give the proceeds from their oil to the people? No. We support the Saudis who are just enriching a small clique of rich billionaires in Saudi Arabia.
Well, they have a universal basic income in Saudi Arabia too, right?
They do also have a lot of Malaysian and Southeast Asian Muslims who work for very low wages, practically slave labor, to build their buildings. And also Shias are discriminated against in Saudi Arabia. And even though they may have something along the equivalent of UBI, they also have a much greater disparity of wealth, because just think about the wealth of the one family that rules compared to the other families.
Yeah. No, I I mean, there's king, and they have harems and stuff like that. I mean, sheikhs.
Yeah, like the Shah was a king too in Iran. He pranced around like a king, with a sword and real upright, and like a Shah. I think the word even means like king. So that's the kind of people we put in power, and then we claim to be supporting democracy around the world.
I mean, look, this is clearly, again, there's this giant mind fuck. The government just doesn't represent anybody. Nobody buys into it. I can't believe that anybody believes the bullshit anymore. That's why we have to take it back. And I really think that there's this way to peaceful revolution with just, putting an end to political parties. And then it can't be, oh, these guys are better than these guys, because it's not. They're not better. They're the same. And the way that they're the same is that neither side is trying to end the war. Neither side is interested in ending the war. And that doesn't represent any of us. We all want the war to end.
The countries that lost the most people in World War II were Russia and China. Over 23 million people or something died in Russia. Over 20 million people died in China. Those were the countries where the most people on Earth died in that 15-year period of time because of war. What's interesting about that is those are the two countries today that are still resisting the empire's desire to control their labor in China and to control their natural resources in Russia. And they're the only two countries really able to defend themselves from the Fourth Reich. I mean the U.S. empire.
Yeah.
I mean the Nazi scientists working with the U.S. empire. I mean the bankers. I mean, you see how you can say it so many different ways? They're defending themselves against evil, Mike.
Who is defending themselves against evil?
I think that the Iranians and the Chinese and the Russians, who have now a naval alliance,
I see that also.
Gulf, are defending, and if you think about it, China defended itself from Imperial Japan in Manchuria, and Russia defended itself from Nazi Germany, which got a lot of their stuff given to them by Ford and IT&T and a lot of American companies that were pro-Nazi because they were anti-communist. That's why they let the Nazi scientists come here. They were afraid of communism. And they had every right to be, because if we had a socialist country in this place, here in America, we'd take their shit away from them.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, Mike.
Yeah, we would take down the rich, is what you're saying.
We take them down. Yeah. And therefore, you can't even have the American public even think about that during the 50s. You get rid of all the teachers, you get rid of the writers, you get rid of the professors, you call them a bunch of names, jump up and down and call them names, don't let them teach. And that means that the American public, for 35, 45 years, doesn't hear anything about taking it from the wealthy. Nothing about that. They just hear "Be Good Americans."
Yeah.
Pledge of Allegiance was instituted in like 1950.
Yeah.
Hand on heart, look straight up, and don't look anyone in the eye.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that. The American way. New Year's right around the corner. I told you my little brother was celebrating his New Year's in Nairobi, Kenya today.
Right on. Well, that should be exciting.
Yeah, so he doesn't have phone service, but I'll get a great story, I'm sure, in the next few days about his adventures, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hopefully it's real stuff too.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, that is a long rap, Mike, and I appreciate you letting me get the long rap. But I think it's important for people to put it all in a bigger context.
Well, it sounds like the people appreciate it too. They keep talking about you knowing what you're talking about, so that's good.
Oh, all right. Well, I appreciate that and those people, and I hope that everyone in the chat and you and Craig and your DOGs, I hope all of you have a great New Year, and I look forward to chatting with you after the New Year.
Okay, Chris, it's nice to hear from you. Thanks a lot for calling. Happy New Year to you, too.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Bye.
Peace. Bye.
And that's our buddy Chris from Olympia. Okay, so we have 45 minutes to go until we get New Year's in New York City, I guess, till the crystal ball drops on the East Coast. And we're not going to cover that. So, but we have a reporter. So we may hear from our reporter in the field who has been, I believe he said he was going to be wearing a diaper all day long so that he could stand in position to get a good position for the crystal ball drop at midnight, which is 45 minutes from now. Steve McClanahan, he may be calling in. You never know. All right, so I guess it's time for another clip. I have a clip on vaccines because it's part of the New Year thing in Seattle. They're not going to let any kids go to school unless they get this one particular vaccine, the MMR vaccine. I think it's a measles vaccine. Oh wait, I think we have a call from Steve McClanahan. Hold on. Hello, caller. Caller?
Is Michael on the line? If Michael's not on the line, then do not hand me the fucking phone. I've had the most horrifying day ever. Somebody defecated on my shoe. I do not need any more bullshit anymore.
Steve, I'm here. It's Mike.
Is Michael on the line?
It's me. I'm here.
He's on the line? Hello?
Yes, Steve.
Hello?
Steve.
Michael?
Yes.
Michael, this is Steve McClanahan.
Hey, Steve.
This is Steve. What are you doing?
It's good to hear from you.
Oh, I tell you what, Michael, we're wore out. I tell you what. But we've got all the Mox News staff. Everyone's safe. All the producers, the caterers, the hair and makeup, everyone is doing fine. Everyone is here. Just when I put on, I don't want to say that I put on the diaper. I didn't put on the diaper. Just right before I might have put on the diaper, we found somebody's room key. We are currently stationed in their hotel room. We are overlooking the city.
Wow.
Michael, we are overlooking Times Square right now.
Wow.
Breaking news. I'm not even kidding you. Breaking news tonight. Can you see what I see? Michael, can you see what I see? Are you seeing this?
No.
Our live stream is down, but I tell you what, just tune in to one of those fucking local media stations, and you can see Elon Musk, breaking news, has donated $1 million, and I'm not even kidding you, Michael. This is breaking news. We have gotten the inside scoop on this real changing the world right now, Elon Musk, and Planet Fitness. There's a lot of people wearing these, you could call it a hat on their head. But in fact, Michael, it is actually a Tesla toilet. It is a toilet that you can defecate in. You can defecate in it all you want up to 3 months. It is, in fact, reusable over and over up to 3 months after you fill it. You just mail it in to Tesla. We're going to utilize it for renewable energy like a fossil fuel. It's going to be amazing. It's going to revolutionize the entire planet. Michael, we're running out of breath. We have to go. We're trying to get downtown. We're trying.
You only have a few minutes left. You only have a few minutes left.
Yeah, we're trying to get out there. We're going to go. We got to get off our. If the fucking catering would hurry up with my sandwich, then I tell you what, it would be a lot easier to get the fuck down there. But Michael, we're keeping a positive attitude, and we love you. We are hoping that y'all are nice and cozy in your safe space. Michael, I have to tell you, We've been searching for the van since Friday. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I gotta go, Michael.
The van the elves gave you? Oh, man, if he lost that van the elves gave him, that is going to be messed up, dude. Steve, if you lost that van that the elves gave you, that is just fucked up, dude. Okay, so that was Steve McClanahan, I guess from New York City. He said he had a view of, what did he say he had the view of? Of the 24-hour fitness? From somebody's hotel room key that they found? Is that correct? Good job, Steve. Keep up the good work, but find that fucking van. Okay, so, and, do I look like I have a hair and makeup, people? Okay, let's see. I am getting hungry, you guys. I gotta make it 40 minutes. So we can have the countdown to 2020 on the East Coast. Let's see. So we should play a video. Have a video about the new law about the Seattle vaccinations starting in 2020. Your kids aren't going to be able to go to school unless they have the measles vaccination. That's the requirement. So I'm going to play that clip. It's clip number 2. Where's this at? There it is. Oh, pretty. So hypnotizing. Clip number 2. Here we go.
Right now, hundreds of Seattle families are rushing to make sure their children can come back to school after the winter break. If they are not in compliance with vaccination requirements, the district won't allow them back in the classroom. KOMO's Suzanne Fawn gives us a closer look at that deadline that is now just days away. Suzanne?
Well, after a big measles outbreak earlier this year, more school districts are requiring their students to get vaccinated. Washington State is also restricting parents' reasons to refuse to vaccinate their kids. A new state law that took effect in July means families can no longer opt out of getting the MMR vaccine because of personal or philosophical reasons. At Seattle Public Schools, officials said last Tuesday, 2,274 students got letters they would be kept out of school on January 8th if they did not meet their vaccination requirements. To help those students out, the district is hosting 3 free vaccination clinics. The new Washington State law regarding MMR vaccines does not change religious and medical exemptions. That means students can still opt out for religious and medical exemptions, just not for personal reasons. Now, we talked to the 8th District Representative Kim Schreier about the need for more people to get vaccinated.
When epidemics start, they often start with children. Children are cramped together in a classroom. They're not great at controlling their own germs. And so when we can protect kids, we protect the whole community.
Under Washington law, personal or philosophical exemptions are still allowed for vaccines against other diseases like hepatitis B, diphtheria, or polio. All parents have to do is submit a certificate of exemption to prove their children are in compliance. And here in Seattle, there's more than one free clinic, or rather one more free clinic. It's this Friday at Seattle World School from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Live in the newsroom, Suzanne Fawn, KOMO News.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so I screwed up the countdown clock. And that's what I do. I am so good at that. That is what I do. So I know there's no. I know. I was going to turn the microphone on, and then someone grabbed a hold of my mouse, so I couldn't turn the microphone on. So I was like, I have no microphone, and you're like, I can't hear anything. So I know. Anyways, I wanted to. I guess we're gonna have to just keep track of what time it is. We should turn on the Dick Clark countdown. Then we'll know. No worries. I'm not worried about it. It's always New Year's where I'm at. Actually, I'm really glad it's not, because on New Year's, there's always fireworks. And the dogs hate fireworks. So I don't go anywhere New Year's. That's why we're doing a show on New Year's. Otherwise, we'd probably be out somewhere partying. And one of these days, we'll do a live show from somewhere out partying. But that's probably a little ways down the road. But for now, we have Happy New Year's to share together. Forever. I was going to put up a different background. Is you guys tired of this background? Is it too much? You had enough of the background? Should I put up a different background? You want to go back to a waterfall or something? Oh, there goes a firework. See? I said fireworks, and then somebody goes, boom! I'm like, motherfuckers. You think, oh, it's raining outside and the wind is blowing like 1,000,000 miles an hour, so nobody's going to light up fireworks. And boom! Motherfucker! Oh, well, my dogs have had cookies. They're ready. They're ready for a few fireworks and whatever else comes their way. Let's see. Best New Year's? I crashed this party one New Year's Eve, right? When I was like, I don't know, maybe 19, right? I crashed this party. I didn't know who was throwing the party. There's like a bunch of people. I had no idea who they were. And we went into this party. We got Steve McClanahan on the line. Hold on. Hello, caller.
Michael, this is Steve McClanahan. We are down here in the mix with all the people. We have finally made it down here. It is utterly a crazy.
That was fast.
Crazy.
Steve. That was fast,
Michael.
Man. Yes.
Michael, I'm telling you, we were right down the stairs. We were overlooking Times Square. We're not even kidding you. You think we're fucking around or something, but I'm not even kidding you.
Oh, they got a fitness.
You are witnessing.
Go ahead.
Tonight, you are witnessing the Tesla toilets. And I'm not even kidding you, Michael. This is Guinness World Records is here. We are witnessing tonight the world's record for the most shitheads in the entire world. I'm not even kidding you, Michael. We have the world's most amount of shitheads together in one location. In breaking news, Elon Musk just donated 1 million toilets to everyone. You get a toilet. You get a toilet. Everyone gets a toilet in Times Square. Everyone's happy. We watched earlier before we got the hotel room. I had to take off my fucking dirty diaper, Michael. You just had to make me say it. You had to make me say it. I've got a new diaper on. We watched Alanis Morissette live in Times Square. We were there. We waited all fucking day, Michael, to see Alanis Morissette. And I tell you what, she had some seriously huge, big-ass hair. She had some great hair. She really did. I thought, wow, she looks amazing.
I love
this. Is Alanis Morissette.
She's Canadian.
Did you want me to sing a little Alanis Morissette tonight, Michael?
What would you sing?
I
don't recognize
maybe
that
something like that. I
don't recognize that.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, I don't recognize
personally.
That.
Well, that's unfortunate, Michael.
Okay.
That's really a shame.
It is.
Michael.
Yes.
We're currently standing in the middle of Times Square. Everyone is silent right now. Everyone is waiting right now because we've just got word that there is a new superhero, a new real-life superhero that is coming to you tonight. at midnight. I can't give you any details, but I know the scoop, Michael. Don't tell anyone. Don't you fucking tell anyone. Okay? You hear me? This guy, he ain't putting up with any bullshit anymore. He's tired of all this hate, violence, selfishness. He wishes there was more selflessness, but people don't even know what that means. Selflessness. People want more drugs. People want more selfishness, not more selflessness. He's coming to you live tonight.
I want
Michael.
to share more drugs with people.
I know, me too. I wish I didn't have to be smoking some goddamn bullshit from fucking New York City. I tell you what, this is a bunch of bullshit, Michael. The shit that we have to go through. But you know what, Michael? I started to shout. I'm going to tone it down. We are having the time of our lives. We're having the time of our lives live tonight. It's about to be 2020. Michael, I need to catch my breath and I need to breathe. I need to call my family and tell them my New Year's resolution. And it's been a journey, Michael. It's been a journey, but you know what? Since we're so fucking dedicated, we're on our way to Iraq after this. We are not slowing down. We are going to Iraq. We're going to put a stop to this. We're taking over all the fucking governments. We're tired of this shit. It's stupid. There's too much violence. There's too much retardation.
If you're going to Iraq,
I'm freaking out, Michael.
If you're going to Iraq, you better learn how to say fucking Iraq instead of Iraq, because it's not fucking Iraq. It's Iraq.
I could get killed for that.
That's
right.
right.
My God, I could get killed for that.
Better learn how to say it
American.
if you're going to go there.
I'm not trying to be a spy, Michael. Jesus Christ, Michael.
You don't want to sound like an idiot.
We're going, though. We're going whether you like it or not. We're going to take over.
You go there, General.
Tonight.
You go there, General.
I'll tell you what. I told all these people down there in Times Square already earlier when I was standing in line, fucking defecating in my diaper. I was like,
I thought you were defecating in your hat. In your hat toilet.
No, I refuse to wear one of those hats. I'm not taking it to the next level.
You're not a shithead, Steve.
They stormed the restroom last night, Michael. You can only imagine what that could be like. Stormed the restroom. They took like 4 guys, threw me off the toilet, and they all fought over this toilet to defecate in. Yeah, I'm wearing the diaper. I finally gave in.
But at least you're not a shithead. But at least you're not a shithead.
That's exactly correct, Michael. At least I am not in the Guinness World Records book of being a complete shithead wearing Planet Fitness, Tesla toilet, fecal matter, shit and poop, probably some other shit pushed in. You mail it in for a renewable energy source. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live, this is what 2020 is all about.
If it's New York,
the next
Steve,
new thing.
Steve, if it's
the
New
next
York,
new thing.
if it's New York, there's going to be
a giant bag, a huge bag over the cows' asses. We're gonna suck all in that methane gas, and we're gonna utilize this. We're gonna utilize it, and all these cows are just gonna have a giant bag floating over their ass. But I tell you what, don't get a fucking lighter by it, because you're gonna have a barbecue.
The methane comes out of their mouth, Steve.
I know. I tell you what, it's coming out of people's rectums and their mouth and all this shit. And I tell you what, I am literally about to start gagging down here in Times Square because of all the fecal.
Steve.
Well, I'm starting to get dizzy.
Steve, take a breath.
Okay.
All right.
I got to get back.
Okay.
I'll get back to you. What time is it?
You stay warm.
It's about to go. I don't know. We got 11 minutes or some shit. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. We messed up the time clock. The countdown clock got broken.
Oh, fuck. It's probably already 2020. Who gives a shit? Stop being violent. Stop being angry. Stop hurting people. You don't have to do it. You don't have to be angry at anyone. For any reason, just stop that, because everyone that hates you is wanting you to be angry. So don't do it anymore. Just stop. Just stop. We're doing it live tonight on Mox News. And you know what? If you have your Tesla toilet on your head right now, just take it off and take a poop in the fucking helmet and put it back on your head, and you can walk around. Everything's great. You're not shitting on anybody yourself, you dumb fuckers. Okay? You're waving a bunch of shit in the air, a bunch of yellow fucking shit. You're just happy. But everybody's actually angry. Everyone is so happy, but they're actually angry. Tonight on Mox News Radio, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you live from downtown. We're in an alleyway. We're actually behind some police officers. I don't know who I should be scared of here really tonight.
Don't be scared. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't add anything
Michael,
to perception.
I am not even kidding you. I would like to get the fuck out of here.
Well, get the fuck out of there.
As soon as we need to get out of here. We need a taxi cab. We've been trying to find Muhammad. He's a taxi cab driver in New York City. We've been trying to track him down and locate him for so long, and we cannot find him. That's one of our main goals here tonight.
Okay.
And it's bullshit. I tell you what, these Uber drivers are driving me fucking crazy. They got shit in the back seat. We got fucking fecal matter all over the goddamn place. And I can't even get a fucking ride out of here, Michael. I'm about fucking tired of this shit. I'm going to call George Norrie. No, I'm sorry. I got off the wall there. I'm just telling you, I just slipped in a fucking pile of shit in New York City right now. 20.
I don't know what else you expected.
This is the way I want to start off the new year, Michael.
This was your choice. You wanted to be there, Steve.
No, Michael. You forced me.
You said we're going regardless of what you say. That's what you said.
Well, you know what, Michael? I'm just pissed the fuck off at the goddamn stupid little elf.
Why are you always pissed off, Steve? It's no way to go through life,
he stole the van.
You need to eat more marijuana.
Everybody is so angry.
You're not eating enough marijuana. How many times I gotta tell you, you're not eating enough goddamn marijuana?
Here in New York City without being arrested and your ass raped and all this shit, Michael. You don't know what it's like being out here on the streets. On the streets for the people. You know, we're out here, we're doing it, we're raping our own asses here.
You need to eat more marijuana, Steve. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to get off the line here. I'm going to get back to the room. And we have actually got a live superhero that's going to do a live. I mean, I hope that this son of a bitch shows up.
Okay. Well, we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, Super Bullshit-tron.
Okay.
That's his name.
You said you weren't going to reveal his identity.
Well, I just did, son of a bitch. That fucker, he pisses me off. He's already supposed to be here. I've been, I'm telling you, the caterers and the fucking Mox News security and
everything
all the
pisses you off,
are
Steve.
Pissing me off.
Everything pisses you off.
That's the worst part. I'm in here in New York City, Michael, trying to fucking go live for fucking Mox News. And these people that you've got hired for me I'm telling you, I love them. I love them.
Everything.
And I tell you what.
I try for you, Steve, it's just not enough. You're just always
doing it, though.
Everything's messed up. There's shit everywhere.
Fuck it.
Always.
We're doing it live. God damn it.
All right, will you let me know when you're set up?
Hey, well, I need to get off the line here.
Okay.
I'm in New York City, and I'm fucking tired of this shit. I feel like I'm adapting.
You're always tired of this shit.
I feel like it's
You're always tired of the shit. Doesn't matter where you're at. You're in Alaska, you're tired of the shit.
You're always tired of the shit. I'm telling these people that they
you're a towel. You're a towel.
Are we supposed to stop partying? Are we supposed to party? Because I feel like that we're supposed to stop partying. All the parties I'm trying to stop all the parties tonight in New York, Michael. What am I supposed to? We're supposed to be taking over the fucking government.
We're working on it.
Working on it. This is exhausting. Nobody wants to stop partying right now. They're defecating in their new toilet. They're not even using them. They're like, this isn't even cool. I just like defecating on the sidewalk and on your doorbell. And Michael, it's insane. I'm wore out. I have to come to you. I have like a couple of more broadcasts. I don't know what fucking time it is. Post Malone is on stage or some shit. I gotta go. I gotta go back to the room.
Okay.
I'm fucking.
Okay, you do what you gotta do, Steve.
Diaper.
You do what you gotta do.
I gotta change my fucking diaper, Michael.
You do what you gotta do.
Fox News fucking ban is gone.
Okay.
Again.
You do what you gotta do, Steve.
Well, you better fucking get me another card ASAP. You better because these fucking caterers are the worst. Goodbye, Michael. I have to go.
Goodbye.
Live from New York, Mox News Radio, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy New Year, Steve.
Back to you, Michael.
Bye.
Bye.
Steve! He's still on there. Steve! He hasn't hung up yet. Steve!
Hello?
What are you doing now?
I'm fucking...
Then he hung up. Okay, so... T minus 19... I think this background is making me crazy. We need a new background, Craig. Can you pull up a new background for me, please? Anything will do. If it was just a little longer, like if it went for maybe a half hour instead, it only goes for like 6 minutes. And every time it runs, it looks different to me. So if it ran for like a half hour, I'd be like, wow, I just get something new. But if it's 6 minutes, it loops. That means it loops 10 times, an hour. And that means that I have seen everything pretty much. Not everything, but, No girls on trampolines. Not doing girls on trampolines. Not tonight. There, thank you. That's so much easier. It's just easier. It's just... Now I can breathe again. Okay, so where were we? All right, we have, let's do this clip right here. Clip number 4. You know what clip number 4 is? Fucking tiger.
A zoo scare caught on camera in Dublin. 7-year-old Sean was posing for a picture in front of an animal enclosure when a full-size Siberian tiger lunges at the glass. The family says Sean was startled, but they are just grateful for the glass safety window.
Man. He sees the kid look at him.
When we come back,
he's like, oh, freeze. I love that so much. Thank you, Craig. Okay, so I love the fucking tiger clip. Okay, so, and I have a story about a puffin using a new animal using tools, right? And that is, let's see, that is this one right here. I'll play that for you now. That is clip number 5. Clip number 5.
New video out this week shows a puffin doing something not seen before. It was caught on camera. using a tool. There's the bird holding a stick in its beak, and then it uses the stick to scratch itself. Researchers say this isn't some kind of nesting behavior. Puffins collect soft grasses for their nests. Researchers say this behavior does fit all current definitions of tool use. Scientists have observed tool use in fewer than 1% of species.
That bird just invented the butt scratcher. Isn't that cool? Huh? I don't know. They act like they're kind of like shocked, right? Like they never saw an animal use a tool before. I think it's just a whole lot more common than, I've seen videos where like ants grow their own food and stuff, I mean, you can't grow your own food without, some kind of intelligence, I don't think. I don't know. I think we just don't give the natural world enough credit. I mean, the thing was just scratching an itch. I don't understand. That's a weird, that's obvious tool using I mean, I want to give the animals as much credit as anybody, right? I believe that they can actually communicate with us. I believe they can communicate with each other. I believe that all of us are like connected, I believe these things. But picking up a stick and scratching an itch, come on. Whatever. I'm not disputing it. 15 minutes. I got one more clip. Which one do I got? Oh, the coyote clip, right? So there's a guy, and he's got a coyote, and I guess he's not very well, and his coyote like got picked up by animal control as I was walking down the street, and they got put into a sanctuary for coyotes, and now the guy wants his coyote back because it's like a therapy animal for him or something, right? And so he's having to go through a whole bunch of bureaucratic crap to try and get his coyote back. So I thought I'd play that clip for you. Want to see that one before Steve calls back? Hold on. Clip number 3.
Happening now, an Iowa man is fighting to get a coyote out of a sanctuary that he says should have never been taken there. Turns out the coyote, named Drifter, has been an emotional support animal for him. Matt Stokes says he's bonded with that coyote since last April, up until it was taken in October. Stokes says the pup helped him make it through some serious health issues.
If it wasn't for him, I would probably be missing my toe or my foot or my leg because I'd gotten an infection in the bone. I had to make sure I took care of myself so I could take care of him. We lay on the couch on Saturday afternoon and take a nap together. He was my buddy.
Stokes also has a doctor's note certifying Drifter as an emotional support animal that helps with depression and anxiety. Animal control officers seized Drifter in October when neighbors reported him wandering in the neighborhood. Stokes is applying for a license with the state of Arizona, or the state of Iowa, that is, to keep Drifter.
So I thought that was a cute clip. Hopefully he gets this dog back. It sucks, when you're in that kind of position where, I mean, these animals mean like the world to us, It's like they fill your heart somehow, When everything else is lost, there's like this wonderful beast that's your buddy. And that seems to make a pretty big difference in the life of a lot of humans. So that's another thing I'll thank God for. They're little humans and their little buddies. So we're counting down to New Year's Eve here at Mox News. On the East Coast, we have 12 minutes to go. We had a countdown clock, but I screwed it up because we can't have nice things. That's just how I roll, all right? and I will key up a bong hit so that it's ready to go, and when we count down to whatever it was, New Year's Eve, I guess that's what we're doing. New Year's Eve? Yeah, New Year's Eve. As we count down to New Year's Eve, I'll load a nice big fat fucking dab, and if you'd like, you can join me. We'll smoke a big fat dab. We'll smoke the new year in together. How's that? That sounds like a good plan. Let's smoke the new year in together. Although I'm not going to be able to go till New Year's on the West Coast. I can't do it. I need a food. I need a food. So I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. It's very kind of you to join me here on New Year's Eve to bring in the new year together, and I hope that it is going to be a fabulous new year for everyone. Yeah, I don't want that on the screen. No, I don't want that up there. Yeah, I don't want that up there. It looks like an ad for Disney. I hope that everybody has a great New Year's. Okay, I mean, and it's not just you and me. I mean, I hope that it's good because for everybody, because we all share the same space. It's like I don't understand why people don't pick up after their dogs. Because we all live in that same neighborhood. And it's your kid that's going to step in the dog poop. What's that?
What if we just have that piece with no borders, just at the drop? Just for the last minute.
I don't think we should.
It's just the live shot of Times Square.
Yeah, I don't think we should. I don't look. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the ability to broadcast live, dude. I mean, that's not worth it, losing the ability to broadcast live. That's all. Thanks, though. Craig wants to drop the crystal ball in Times Square live on the live show, and I can't do it. I can't because it's copyrighted by somebody, and I don't want to be, I don't want that to be the thing that takes us down. Okay, if a news story takes us down because we're talking about the bombing of Iraq in Syria by Donald Trump takes us down, then that's an important thing to discuss. Okay, and that's what we've done here all along for the last 16 years on YouTube. And that's what we're going to keep doing is the news. We're going to keep having discussions about current events that are important and affect all of us, and what it is that we should do or not do, how we should feel about it, what it is that we actually think, as opposed to the news telling us what it is that we're supposed to think. That those are evil brown people, and that there's a reason why that we blow up evil brown people, right? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the news would have you believe. We are good people. We don't want to blow up anyone. And I think deciding who is evil with this mind control media, government, state media, mind control, Operation Northwoods media. That it's who knows who is evil, right? I mean, we have to take that one person at a time, basically. So But I know that we've been lied to an awful lot by this Pentagon and by the White House to try and make happen evil events in the world, and I don't I don't think that that's the way that it should be. I don't think that's the way it has to be, and I know that we can do better. So, and I'm hoping that for all of us for New Year's. Hello, caller.
Michael.
Hey, Pete. Drunk, Pete? Are you drunk on New Year's Eve, Pete?
Oh, but you know it.
What are you drinking?
I got 6 minutes to go on the East Coast.
What are you drinking tonight, Pete?
Well, Mark, you know me. I'm a fine connoisseur of booze. Tonight, I'm doing a Bourbon Ricky.
Bourbon Ricky? That has lime in it, right?
Yes. Pretty much I take 60 mils of bourbon. I got some Maker's Mark tonight because I'm feeling fancy. 60 mils with some bourbon. And then I do 20 mils with some lime juice. I do a little dash of my homemade grenadine, about 8 mils of my homemade grenadine. And I top it with some club soda. Give it a nice mix with some lime. And goddamn it, Mike, I think it might be my favorite drink that I'm doing right now.
That's cool. You know why I know that has lime in it? Because there's all these strains that are called Ricky, and they're like lime Ricky and stuff like that. So I guess that that your Ricky drink was lime flavored.
Yeah, it's Ricky and it's lime and club soda. You can make it with bourbon or gin. It was originally done with bourbon, but gin has become more popular these days, apparently.
I think I don't think I've ever had lime mixed with bourbon before, but I know I've had it mixed with gin.
It's not very common.
Yeah,
it's not very common. My variation of it though, like I said, I make a homemade grenadine.
Yeah,
pretty much like pomegranate juice and just reduce it down and add sugar to it, and you make like fantastic grenadine syrup, which I add to my gummies too as well, and it's good. But it's good in cocktails. So I do like the classic Ricky, but I add grenadine to it, and it's fantastic.
Right on. That's awesome. So did you add some to your gummies this time, and the flavor came out better, or?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
cool.
They taste great. They taste great.
That's awesome, dude.
I made them like I've been like going overboard with buying like candy molds, like gummy molds.
Oh yeah.
Silicone molds. I've got like every mold you can possibly buy. So much fun. I got lions and tigers and bears.
Did you get hearts? Did you get hearts? Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh, I'm gonna have to, Mike. How can I resist? I made gems. I have like diamonds, like 3D shaped like that. They look like real. They look like Gushers. Like the Gushers candy.
I don't really. I know. I've seen it on TV. That's all I know of it. But yeah.
It's shaped like a real like 3D diamond. It's awesome. It's like a square inch candy mold. It's delicious.
It sounds like a cool gummy to have. I mean, for your the infused. Sounds awesome.
I love the gummies. Fantastic. Hey, Mike, you were saying you were talking earlier about that bird that was like scratching itself up that tool, and everyone thought that was fucking so amazing. And a lot of people don't know about ants like enslaving aphids. I don't know if you know about this.
I've heard. I'm pretty sure I've heard of them using other bugs. Yeah.
I guess there's like this other bug that's like even smaller than the ant called the aphid.
Sure.
They feed on like plant sap, I guess, and they secrete like this liquid that ants like because it's sweet. And the ants like drink it and they like it. So they like herd all these aphids together, like how humans like herd cows and stuff.
Or bees.
Right. And they pretty much just keep them around to feed off like this sugar that this like they call honeydew that they extract, I guess.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's far more impressive than a bird using a stick to fucking scratch itself.
Yeah, I think that was my first thing was I've seen something where ants were growing their own food, and that's a very similar thing to what you're talking about. But I think it was something else they were growing. I don't think they were using aphids.
They literally have slaves, little slave bugs.
Yeah.
That they keep around. And they milk them just like how we milk cows and keep them around. Ants do the same fucking thing. It's pretty unbelievable.
They even put the shit in jars and deliver it to each other's doorsteps.
That would be fucking impressive. Oh, Mike, I got 1 minute left.
1 minute.
11:59.
Is it?
Oh. Here we go, Mike. Here we go. 5, 4,
Is it?
3,
Is it?
2, 1.
Is it? Are you serious?
Happy motherfucking New Year.
Wow, that was pretty good. Mike, the clock on my computer clicked over at exactly time you said Happy New Year. That was amazing. Happy New Year to Pete. Happy New Year to all of you.
Yes, Happy New Year to the East Coast.
You're in Rhode Island, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, so you are New Year's right now. So what?
Oh, I love that background. That's fantastic.
Well,
oh wow, there's fireworks going on outside my apartment.
Is there?
That's awesome. Hold on, I can't see him. Oh shit, I gotta go outside. Maybe I can see him.
All right.
I can hear him. I can hear him talking.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So smoke a minute. Oh, we're going to smoke, right? We're going to smoke at the New Year, right? We're going to have a bong hit, Pete.
I missed the fireworks. Bummer. Oh wow, my neighbor! I don't know what my neighbor's cooking, but it smells fantastic.
Oh yeah, skunky?
No, it smells like some mushroom delicious gravy or something.
Oh.
I walked out in the hall to go outside to see if I could see the fireworks in the hallway. I smelled whatever my neighbor was cooking. That was unbelievable. Bourbon Ricky. Shout out to the Bourbon Ricky. We're the Gin Ricky. All right, people. Good next to
Pete, are you a football guy?
No, I'm not.
I'm not a football guy either.
A little bit for the New England Patriots.
I'm not a football guy either. I just wondered.
No.
It gets to the end of the year, and everybody's talking about football, so.
I don't know. Yeah, I get the same thing. I people shit on me because I don't know anything about football.
You know why it's like a paramilitary thing where it's like you don't run outside the lines or you get penalized, right? And I get enough of that in everyday world. I don't need that in my fucking games too, Which is all the games. Games just teach you to color inside the lines, Don't go outside the line. Don't go outside the line. And I don't know. It's weird. Right?
The only sport I ever gave a little bit of a shit about was skateboarding, which is not like a traditional sport. It's not like competitive sport,
That's the thing, too. I'm just not competitive. I'm really just not. I don't want to compete. I really don't want to compete with people. My whole life, I never got, why people would want to bash heads in order to fucking, win a game, That's not...
Oh, dude, I forget what comedian had this great joke. I can't remember who it was. But he was, talking about how when he was learning how to play soccer when he was a kid, and they're like, okay, now, there's a ball here and a big net. Now, you want to kick the ball into that big net, but there's this other team of kids that also want to kick the same ball into your net, and he's like, yo, can't we all just resolve this with a conversation? I think we can just resolve this with a conversation. And I thought that was just the funniest joke ever. Like, yeah, I mean, really at the end of the day, we're only in competition with ourselves, aren't we? That's really who we're in competition with.
I'm not in talk. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I don't like the idea of it. I just want us all to cross the finish line together. You know.
Spoken like a true hippie.
Because because we all got to get across the finish line, and if we don't go there together, it's like what why not? Because we can and we should, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to all be looking out for each other, and instead of climbing on top of each other to see who can get the shiny fucking coin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, Pete, I got this soda. I had this soda tonight and it was pretty good. If you get a chance, you might want to enjoy one of those sometime. It was very tasty.
Orange cream. Oh, it's got THC in it?
Yeah, it's 10 milligrams of THC. Ooh la la.
That's nothing. That's bullshit.
I know.
That's cool though. I mean, no, because I've made alcohol tinctures with my butter machine. Like I could make like a potent soda.
Oh, do you do so? Oh, that's an interesting idea, huh?
Oh, look at that. That's cool. I'll go back to that.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool. I love those people doing this shit. Oh, no. Well, you see, they actually do have 100 milligrams. 250 milligrams. Holy shit.
Where do you see that at? Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, each one of them has a little thing.
Oh, that would be nice, huh? I got to talk. I'm going to have to write these people. We need more information.
Yeah, this is like making Rick Simpson oil, but you just don't boil off the alcohol and you just make soda with it. That's fucking awesome.
There's a whole new career for you right there, Pete. I'm telling you.
I gotta get another button. My fucking butter machine broke. I'm pissed.
I told you to write them, and they'll send you a new one.
I'm too lazy.
Do it. You're gonna what? You're too lazy. It's easier just to pay for one.
Yeah, well, honestly, if you're doing like coconut oil or butter, honestly, you don't need a butter machine. If you're doing alcohol tinctures,
Pete,
if you're doing alcohol tinctures, then a butter machine. One of those nice little butter machines is actually a really good idea.
I'm telling you, Pete, they will send you a new one. Okay.
I know they will. I'm just a lazy piece of garbage, Mike. You don't understand this about me. A lazy piece of fucking shit.
Okay. Well, I'm not the one who told you to get one in the first place.
Maybe I'll call him.
Do it. Because it's worth 15 minutes of your time to get a brand new one of these devices, because eventually you'll go, oh, I want to use it for this, because you love doing this. Okay, so you will use it, or you'll give it to a friend who you really want to start cooking their own cannabis at home.
If you're going to do like butter, like I said before, if you're going to do butter or coconut oil or something, you're better off just doing the mason jar method that I've been talking about on your fine program. But if you want to do like alcohol tinctures, the butter machine actually is the best way to go. Because that thing has like an 8-hour setting with the propeller and everything. But
which I'd like to try sometime. So, and you love alcohol, so there you go.
Yeah. I do love alcohol.
So maybe you should try that with bourbon.
Yeah, my fucking can of mojito. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, you have any resolutions, Pete?
Yeah, to drink less and eat edibles more.
Seriously?
which has been working so far.
You want to drink less? Seriously?
Yeah, drink less and eat edibles more.
And you have been drinking less since you started eating edibles, right?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah. Well, it seems
I don't
like
know why you're surprised by me saying I want to drink less. I mean, you've heard me call into the show just obliterated, making a complete disaster.
you described your Thanksgiving to me quite vividly, Pete.
Oh yeah, that was bad. That was real bad. There was one broadcast even before that where I called in, and I was so fucked up. I listened back to it, and that was when I really was like, I gotta stop drinking because I'm fucked. I kept like repeating myself over and over, and you just had the whole time during the call, you just had this puzzled look on your face. You're like want to hang up on him, but I don't want to be a dick, and I just was babbling like, typical fucking drunk idiot fucking bullshit. So.
Well, it sounds like you're on the right path, my friend.
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, I'm gonna make another batch pretty soon. So, I'll be going for 6 hours instead of 5 this time.
Get some heart molds, dude. Make little care packages, little Valentine's packages. Come on, get some heart molds.
I bought. When February rolls around, I will. But I just bought some penguin molds. It's penguins with bears and lions,
cherries,
and monkeys. There's monkeys too. I have pigs. I have pig molds. I have puzzle piece molds. I have the gem molds that I told you about.
Yeah. You said dinosaurs, didn't you? Didn't you say dinosaurs?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I got dinosaur mold. I got, like, fruit shake mold, so, like, cherry, pineapple.
Oh, yeah, you want cherries and pineapple. You definitely want that. But you want hearts.
Yeah. Fun. So much fun.
I know. I love it.
Fireworks going off again.
Excellent.
I gotta go, so I'd be like, I don't want to miss the fireworks.
Happy New Year, Pete.
Happy New Year's to you as well. Tulsa gives me a boner. Praise Allah.
See ya. That's our buddy Pete in Rhode Island. And that was nice of him to join us right at the new year and count it down with us. He counted it down perfect. The second he said 1 0 Happy New Year, it was at my clock on my computer clicked right over. So Happy New Year to everyone on the East Coast and to everyone everywhere. I really hope that there's bright things in the future of this species. Okay, I want it to go a very positive direction for everyone, because it could if we were to take control of what's happening instead of evildoers being in control of what's happening. Because that's not us. That doesn't represent us, and I don't think anybody wants it to represent us. I know that that's not what people want. So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people do want that. Maybe people do want strong leaders who make it so that we can fight them over there, so that we don't have to fight them over here. I just know, that there's every time they bomb somebody, this is what happens. They just bomb somebody, right? Now they're protesting outside the embassy. They've been setting fires outside the embassy all day. And now they've got tents set up outside the embassy, and they're demanding that all Americans leave. And the reason is because they bombed them, and it's not like they got permission or anything, So, hello, caller.
Hey, Michael, how's it going? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Steven. How are you?
I'm doing good. Anyways, yeah, there was something in the chat that made me want to go ahead and like type something out and call in. I'll go ahead and call in. There was a story that I really liked that my friend ended up explaining to me about how Alexander Nobel ended up figuring out how to go ahead and like distill, or like not distill, but he was able to go ahead and liquefy his Nobel Peace Prize during the war, during like World War II. And he was able to go ahead and like somehow like dissolve his Nobel Prize in this liquid. So when the Nazis came by, they didn't end up, they couldn't actually see where all his gold went because they just ended up seeing clear bottles on the shelf,
Okay.
So this process is called aqua regia. And what he ended up doing was he ended up putting another chemical into that liquid, and the gold started to go ahead and like, you can literally see it coming out of that liquid. So he could go ahead and reclaim the gold again.
Uh-huh.
So he sent that all back to the people who gave him the Nobel Peace Prize. They ended up melting it back down and sent him back his Nobel Peace Prize like it was like nothing ever happened.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a story. Yeah, I really like, the whole idea of being able to go ahead and hide gold in plain sight. That's amazing. And, I like that story. Aqua regia is the actual chemical process.
Right on. Sounds cool. That's a cool thing. I never heard of that before. I never heard that story.
Yeah, I know. It's just like some weird like it's just like chemistry. It's just like weird chemistry that he ended up figuring out. He had to go ahead and get that Nobel Prize somehow.
Yeah. What's going on in Reno tonight, Stephen?
I don't know. It's like it's only 9:15, so technically, I'm not sure if we're supposed to celebrate the new year yet. But I mean, like America got like the start of the new year so far, so I don't know if that counts for us on the West Coast also.
Well, no, it's the new year when it's the new year. But I mean, is there fireworks or anything like that you guys go watch there?
Definitely during 4th of July, but yeah, usually all the casinos, because it's a little bit like Vegas. All the casinos are going to have, some of them are probably going to have fireworks. If not, the baseball stadium always has fireworks because when the Aces win a game, oh my God, the downtown area sounds like a war zone every single time. So occasionally I'm just sitting here and I'm like, boom, 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 and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess they just won a baseball game.
Yeah. No, when I lived in Tahoe on New Year's, it was always a big deal. There was a giant party right in the middle of this. Have you been to Tahoe before?
Yeah, I love Tahoe.
Yeah, the strip. The strip right there in between Harrah's and Harvey's. There was always a big giant party right there in the street on New Year's when I lived there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, isn't there like a big casino right along that area?
Yeah, Harrah's and Harvey's are both right there. Caesar's Palace used to be there. I don't know what's there anymore. I know Harrah's and Harvey's is still there. We were looking at it on the Google the other day.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It kind of ended up like it just started to go ahead and like snow on the mountain. So, yeah. Hopefully it don't come down to the valley, but the thing is that I ended up like throwing a few extra 100 pounds on the back of my truck. So at that point, you know, I'm if I have even like a 10% grade, I'm sliding. I'm just sliding. Yeah. So I mean, like, and it doesn't matter if I get new tires, I'll still be sliding. You know, I guess I just need to go ahead and buy like real winter tires when that happens. You know.
Yeah. Or chains, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely go buy chains.
Well, are you having any New Year's resolutions?
Well, I just got a computer up and running, so that's always nice.
Sounds like a good thing.
Work hard. Yeah, I'm gonna be working hard. I'm gonna be basically just working hard.
Excellent. Well, you do what you need to do. A man's got to have priorities, damn it.
Yep. And I was just taking a look at a Linux book, and do you want to know what their slogan for Linux is?
My what now?
Their slogan for Linux is "Have fun."
Well, that's what I always say. Have fun. You know, I mean, you have the choice of what it is that you're going to do. You know, and if you have, in my own opinion, if you have a smile on your face, you know, you're probably halfway there to doing it right.
There's this weird thing where you can go ahead and trick your body, where you can force yourself to be happier by putting your arms up in the air for 2 minutes. Somehow, you know, like you ended up like doing something successfully. Somehow that tricks your brain into like releasing, you know, a decent chemical, you know, makes you happier. And then also smiling, and I'm not talking about a fake smile. I'm talking about you really got to try to genuinely smile for at least 30 seconds, and that will also trigger that same thing.
Well, again, I've told you guys this before, that it's much, much, much easier to go through life with a smile on your face. I guarantee it. So whatever it takes, if you can put a smile on your face, you're going to be way ahead of the game.
I will definitely tell you that you can physically try this, but it takes far fewer muscles to smile than it takes to frown.
My dog smiles all the time. He does this Elvis thing, right? Des is saying something about her dog smiling. My Rufus does this Elvis thing, right? If you say the word cheeseburger, thank you very much, It's hilarious, dude. So, yeah, the dogs smile too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's cool. What kind of dogs you got?
I have their mom was a black lab. I'm not sure anything else, but they're mutts.
Ah, okay. So just some good old boys. That sounds good.
Yeah, they're mutts. They're good. They're Boo Bears.
Just curious, what do you think about? Because we were talking. Somebody in the chat, or when they call you, they were talking about like different species of dogs. What do you think about like the difference between mutts or like pure breed like dogs?
I think whatever. I mean, people that want pure breeds want pure breeds. I think that a dog is a dog, and if you're going to give it a good home and you're going to be, make it part of the family, that you'll have an outstanding dog. You know, if you're going to put it out in the backyard, if you're going to put it out in the backyard and act like it's a dog, you'll have a dog.
I know, but you can go ahead and like, it don't matter what kind of dog it is. The only time that it really matters is when it's only 10% dog, and then like 90% coyote or 90% wolf. At that point, it's not really too close to a dog anymore, you know?
Coyote and wolves are very close to a dog. They're incredibly close to a dog. And you can easily get domesticated wolves in this country. People that are selling them.
I've seen that. That is true. But I mean, like, don't you need to go outdoors and stuff?
If you're gonna have a dog, you gotta make it, like I said, you gotta make it a family member.
No. I'm talking about wolves. I'm talking about like domesticated wolves. Don't they need you? I don't think you can like take them inside too much. Like.
Yeah, you can. Sure, you can.
Well, I mean, like, you can't keep them inside. They need to go outside like regular dogs. Okay, well, I guess you can domesticate them.
Yeah, sure. Fucking Mike Tyson had a tiger, dude.
Wait,
he said he used to sleep with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's something I would do that. Yeah, I used to go ahead and use my friend's pit bull as a pillow.
Yeah, pit bulls are great dogs. The dogs are wonderful creatures. Like I said, if you make them part of the family, you'll get an amazing creature that's part of your family. That's like your best friend. You couldn't ask for more unconditional love. If you put it out in the backyard and forget about it, you'll get a dog. Those are your choices.
Yeah, but see, I mean, like, the thing is like, you always want to, I mean, like, I don't know about you, but dogs like me. Okay? That's literally it. Dogs just like me. Unless there's one exception. Okay? And the outside the lot, basically on this property, any dog that gets out of that lot, I don't know what they do in there. I don't know, but it looks scary as hell. There's this red light in this room, but every dog that gets out of that place runs away from me.
Wow.
And they lose dogs all the time. I saw a dog today. Like, I saw a dog yesterday. I mean, like, and every dog, I can't get one single dog to go ahead and come up to me. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It could be that I'm like one of the only white guys that walks around in this neighborhood. That could be it.
I don't know if dogs see color. If the dog's coming out of a scary place, the dog might be fucking scared. If the dog's scared, it doesn't want to come up to anybody. It's scared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, tell you the truth, I would be scared. I was scared when I ended up going to daycare in that building.
There you go.
Man, that was a scary building for me when I was a kid.
There you go. And dogs, see, that's what I'm saying is dogs are just like little children, right? They're like a kindergartner, basically a kindergartner mentality, and they just want to be happy and play. But some things are really scary, and if they get scared, all they know is that they're scared, and they want to run to where they're not scared anymore.
Yeah, and then after they're done running, then they want to go ahead and get a little bit of petting, and then they want to go ahead and sit down, have a little bit of water, and then a treat, of course. Yeah.
In a perfect world.
Yeah, dogs are a lot like people.
They can be.
Yeah, see, I definitely need. I'll get a dog in the next 5 years. It's gonna be good.
You'll figure out what works for you, man. I mean, it's a dog is a really big responsibility, and like I said, as long as it's you're gonna make it a family member, then that's you got a friend for life. But if you're just gonna try and lock it in the house and forget it, or go put it in the backyard, it takes a lot of love every day. But it's a great thing because you come home and there's this thing, and it's like, yeah, you're home, you're home, you're home, yeah, you're home, yeah, you're home. So that is a very, very good feeling, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know because I don't really go anywhere without the dog.
I know. I ended up seeing. I had this one coworker at a few jobs back, where I ended up going over to his house, and the way that he would treat his dog, he just lock the dog up in a cage and just leave it for like 10 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I don't know what kind of dog you expect to get, except for totally neurotic after that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, fucking, like, hitting the dog for fucking yelping because you were gonna take it outside, and you said, okay, let's go outside, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, and then all of a sudden you beat it. Like, that's uncalled for.
You don't ever beat the dog. It's not gonna accomplish anything, beating a dog.
I know, and then he ended up throwing the dog right back in the cage and didn't even take it out and go pee.
Yeah, see, that person shouldn't have a dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, poor dog.
Yeah. The funniest thing I ended up hearing, I went to this battery place, and I heard this story like a few days ago. Okay, so this guy was helping out this customer with this neck thing that they have for dogs when they bark. It kind of gives them a little bit of a jolt.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is that he's like, yeah, I'm not sure this thing's working. The guy ended up walking in, and basically. He ended up going, okay, yeah, here, let me go and put in a new battery for you. Put in a new battery, and ended up going, here, let's go ahead and let's go and test if it works. So he hands it to the customer, and he ends up telling the customer, okay, put it on your wrist. Go ahead and put this dog collar, the shock collar on your wrist.
Yeah.
He ends up activating it, and the customer falls down and pees himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ended up looking straight at the guy, and ended up, as he was getting yelled at by the guy, said, yeah, that's what you do to your dog. So, I mean, like, tell you the truth, he was in the right to go ahead and, like, show the guy what's actually happening. Hey, I don't care if you peed yourself. You want to go ahead and have the dog pee himself every single time you shock it?
Like I said, I mean, I see these commercials on TV, right, where they have the dogs outside in the freezing cold, and they're like, $19 a month. Your $19 can save this poor child, a poor dog, right? But they show like the dog, and the shit. And I'll say, they'll put like little words above the dog, and I'll say like, I don't know why you do this to me. And all I can think is, what? Give you cheeseburgers? There isn't anything, I mean, it's, there's just love, I mean, and that's what dogs are about. That's, and you can have like this incredible love machine that'll just be like, oh yay, I love you so much, and I mean, every day when I get out of bed, I sit down, and Rufus waits, at the foot of my bed, basically, for me to get out of bed every day. I get out of bed, and he comes over, and he licks my face, and then he puts his forehead right on my chest where my heart is, and he just puts it there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and that's. It's like, I'm glad we're starting another day together or whatever, And, I mean, it's
you know what he's thinking about.
Yeah.
Can you give me some food? I want a treat. Let's go for a walk.
Well, we don't do that many treats. I mean, we get treats, but treats are just, very specific. And walk, he knows we'll go on a walk in a little bit. He's not pushing anything. He's just like, hey, buddy, You know, that's all. It's a good thing. All I'm saying is it's an amazing thing to have around. If you know, if you need somebody to, if you don't have anybody and you wish that you did, you know, and you can treat someone like a dog, like Rufus, like a member of the family, like someone you genuinely care about, you know, then you'll get just this amazing friend for, you know, ever. So, and I recommend it, but you have to really want it. It's like you have to really want it. I was going to get a dog after I broke up with my last girlfriend, and then I got a practice dog, and I carried it around with me and decided I did not want a dog, you know. Because I'm this guy who takes on the least amount of responsibility that I can. I don't want a gun because it's a responsibility. I don't want a car because it's a responsibility. I don't want children because I don't want everything. You know, I don't want responsibility. You know, I just want to cruise through and try and make it through this life and keep a smile on my face. And then Rufus came into my life regardless. So I even said, no, I don't want a dog. Even when he's right there, sitting in front of me, being perfect, I said no. And still he's here. 11 years later, he's still here.
Yeah.
Which is a really, really wonderful thing. And I don't think that, I don't want anybody to think that I'm complaining at all. I'm really glad that he's here. Really couldn't be more happy that he's here.
Yeah. I mean, like, oh yeah, that's the thing I wanted to tell you. My friend gave me an office today.
Oh, nice. That's all cool, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I got a place to go ahead and like start. You know, I got a place to go ahead and do paperwork and business and stuff like that. You know.
Start your thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, tell you the truth. I'm one of those like you said how you're really lazy.
I didn't say that. Too. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying that to myself, which is kind of why, you know, I'm just lazy. So, you know, I kind of want to go ahead and like.
I'm not lazy. I publish 70,000 videos on YouTube, dude. I'm not lazy.
I know. Well, okay. What I mean is I want to go ahead and have my productivity work for me. So I want to have the money that I'm going to be making work for me this next year.
Awesome. Yeah, and you don't sound like lazy. You said I want to work hard. This, you know, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, that you're talking about working hard, dude. I don't know why you think that you're lazy. But go ahead.
The reason is I'm getting these machines to do all the work for me. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to. That's why I set up a computer. You know, that's why I have all these other machines, so I don't have to go ahead and like work as hard as I need to. You know.
Yeah, well, you have computers because you can't do things without computers. You know, it's not like you could replace a computer if you didn't have one by working harder. You know, you have to have a computer in order to make certain things happen in this world. So, hi Michelle, Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year, Michelle. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So.
Hopefully she gets a call in because I do want to hear her Happy New Year.
Okay, well, I'm getting really hungry, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, and I do know that if she does call in, there's definitely going to be one curse word coming out of her mouth.
Well, that's, you know, this things happen. I mean, you know, it's the way we talk now. You know, when I first started making videos on YouTube, people kept telling me to stop swearing, and I'm like, no. You know, I mean, stop telling me what to do. You know, I'm not here trying to, you know, this is how people talk. Okay, this is how people talk, and so I'm going to talk this way so that I sound as if I'm a modern day human. as opposed to, you know, again, and a free man, you know, who's not being, you know, having to censor themselves at every turn, because that's what YouTube, that's what the internet is supposed to be about, the freedom to communicate, you know, and for whatever reason, it's just restrained more and more, and now we're threatened by language more than ever before. It seems like, even more than during the witch trials or during the book burnings. You know, we're threatened by words.
Do you remember? You're gonna like this reference because I know you know it. You remember when South Park ended up like using the word shit? I don't know. Was it 67 or 167 times?
Yeah, I remember that episode. I'm not sure how many times they said it, but yeah. As many times as you can say it in 28 minutes.
Exactly. The spirit behind the episode, the reason why they did that is because they wanted to go ahead and make a point where you cannot censor. You basically cannot censor a word if it's used that much for anything. You know, if it's that ubiquitous, you know, a word that can be thrown around willy-nilly and be used in so many different contexts and with connotations that, you know, double innuendos, this and that. How the hell can you censor that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it doesn't do any good to censor it. That's what their point was, that if you censor it, what is it that you're accomplishing? Because when it's not censored, the sky doesn't fall, right? Dragons don't crawl out of the fucking ground and everybody, there's a plague upon humanity. It doesn't happen. You know, it's not an actual curse word. It's just a word, and if you like just act like an adult, then it's just a word, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know why, but it is so difficult to go ahead and try to type on YouTube, because I have so many banned words that I can't type. You know, I mean, like, it just won't go. I'll see my comment just get deleted right in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
And like,
they're gonna make it so that war is one of those words that you can't use. War.
I mean, like, I don't even think that I can use the word tranny on the internet.
I don't know.
I think they banned that one too.
I mean,
like, there's so many.
I'm sure you can Google it.
No. I mean, like, I'm talking about like a live stream on YouTube. See, the funniest thing is when they go ahead and try to do live closed captioning on like live videos. That is the funniest stuff, because the YouTube algorithm still doesn't understand, and it makes gibberish.
Yeah, Craig was working with some of those videos on the closed caption the other day. He thought it was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven, I gotta go. But thanks a lot for calling. Happy New Year. It's good to hear from you. You sound like you're looking forward to a bright future in 2020.
Oh yeah, 2020 is gonna be fun. It will.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Mike. You have fun. Make sure Craig has fun, and, you know, enjoy the new year.
Thanks so much for calling. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And to all of you, Happy New Year to you. I got to go get some food. So I'm glad that we had this moment. It's good that we got to bring in the new year. That's very nice, and I enjoyed it very much. And I will talk with you again soon. We do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. So I will see you again. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. Talk to you then, okay?
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.